Today. My name is Rachel Majors, and I'm a digital marketing consultant through ASBTDC here in Fayetteville. Just a little bit about me. Was born here, moved around a lot. My dad moved back here when I was about 8, and so Arkansas has always been home to me. So I feel really grateful to be able to work with small businesses like yours in the area that is home and that I love. So my husband and I love being outside. We hit the trails and camp as much as we can, and I just love how accessible it is in this area. You can see my 2 dogs there. Love dogs, love being outside with them. And then professionally, I've always had a focus in digital marketing and more in the back end. So a lot of my focus is in analytics, budget optimization, and search engine optimization. And with that comes Google Business Optimization, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So I've always had a focus in more the back end, like marketing tech, not as much of the front end design aesthetic part of marketing. But I've really found, especially working with our small business clients, that the back end of marketing and all of the platforms that we're using every day is often something that gets ignored when it's something really important. And if you think about it, if you're paying attention to those things and some of your competitors are ignoring the back end capabilities for optimization, then normally you can get ahead of them there. So that's something we really try to encourage our clients to buy into. And most of the time, these things are free. And then just overall, I have a passion for helping small businesses. So I love that Fayetteville and Northwest Arkansas is so small business focused. And I think that there's a great community with a lot of support here. And I love what we're able to do through the center. So today we're going to be talking about managing and optimizing your Google business profile. And first, also I'm looking on another screen over here. But first, what is Google Business? So this was previously referred to as Google My Business. They made the switch mid to late last year and changed the profile design a little bit. But it's an easy to use tool for businesses and organizations to manage an online business presence through Google. So it basically gives you your own business listing on the search engine. If you search for bakery near me, you'll see those first few cards show up in your kind of places, and that might take you to Google Maps. That's the listings that we're referring to today. So it's a great place to manage your information for users and Google to understand what you do. So a lot of what we're talking about today allows Google to know what you stand for and when to serve your Google business profile, which helps people, drive to your website, drive to your online ordering site, understand what you offer. So this profile not only informs Google, but also informs our customers. But we have to play those algorithm games. So that's a lot of what we'll be discussing today. It's also a really important source to allow your customers to understand your hours, find your website quickly, view your menu, photos, reviews. Like how many times are you guys looking for something and you go straight to Google to see the reviews? And then your street address. So I'm looking for something, I find it, I click go in Google Maps. It's easy. I feel like that is probably one of the most common kind of workflows, customer research discovery. I've lived in Fayetteville over 10 years at this point, and I still use Google Maps all the time just to understand what's close to me, maybe something new, understand hours, like things are changing all the time. So this is a huge platform for my personal usage. And then it's a great place to interact with customers. So you can read and respond to reviews, which are so important and such a huge customer decision factor. Post photos that show off what you do, what your business looks like, what the inside looks like. And then I love this stat. Businesses that add photos to their Google business profile receive 42% more requests for directions on Google Maps and 35% more clicks through to their website than businesses that don't. And that's significant traffic, especially as if you're a new business owner and you're trying to get more people to your website. This just serves as a really strong free marketing and easy search tool. And then it's always important to understand and expand your presence. So Google Business has really strong insights in the platform, and that will give you information on how many people call your business directly from your Google Business listing, and if they get directions from it, and then how many people click on your website. So I like to use that in conjunction with your Google Analytics just to understand, direct organic traffic, and then understand the impact that your Google business is making. We often see that Google business profiles are really, really strong sources of local SEO, search engine optimization. And that is going to be the primary source. So some of the benefits to a Google business profile: one, it's free. We love free. So it's really easy to set up, and we'll provide documentation and links for that after, but literally just go to business.google.com and create an account or claim a listing. And it really is one of the best sources for local SEO. So a lot of the times, if we are considering our search engine optimization on our owned websites, it could take 1 to 3 to 6 months, depending on the industry that you're in, the category that you play in, and whether you're local, national, and that can just be hard to wait for sometimes. And it takes a little more research and back end work. And so while we always want our clients to, prioritize SEO on their websites, Google Business can be a quicker source for that local SEO to capture those near me searches, patio restaurants in Fayetteville, Arkansas, boutiques near me, those type of things where people know what they want. They're just looking maybe for proximity or what's available and open to them at the same time. And then driving people to your website. So Google business listings often show up above the organic listings. So often in a Google search, you will see paid advertising, and then you'll see Google business listings, and then you'll see the organic website listings. And so if you have a, optimized Google business profile, you can beat out some of those organic listings just because Google's prioritizing those Google business listings above some of the other search results. And then it's a great place to gather customer reviews. So we have a lot of clients who will just create a URL, a QR code. You have a unique review URL within your Google business profile. And after a purchase, or they'll leave it at their cash register, or they'll send emails to happy customers and just say, hey, it'd really help us out if you'd leave us a Google review. That one tells Google that you are a business that people value. If you have high reviews, people want to go there, and they will prioritize your listing over others who maybe have no reviews or lower quality reviews, in addition to informing customers who are in their research phase. So reviews are so powerful, and we know that word of mouth marketing is one of the most powerful forms of marketing, but Google reviews in general kind of serve as that wider net as well. So one other thing on customer reviews is that we often get asked about negative reviews. I always encourage clients to maybe wait a minute or a day before responding to a negative review. I like to view negative reviews as an opportunity to connect with a customer who maybe had a poor experience that's not a regular experience that you provide at your business, and show your customer service from an external way. So if you get a poor review, I do think that it's good to reply to it. Some people are just always going to be upset and mad, and you might not ever be able to make them happy, but you can show your level of customer service through a review reply and just say, hey, this is not what we strive for at our business. We'd love to talk to you and get feedback and see how we can improve. Most of the time, people just had a bad day or something added up, and that was just the tip of the iceberg for them. So I do think that negative reviews can be a really positive place to show your customer service values externally. Sometimes if you feel that you've been struck by a bot or something on reviews, you can dispute those with Google Business, but sometimes people are willing to take down a negative review once you respond to them and resolve the issue. So one little review tip. It's a really, really important place to inform your customers of updated hours, changes, and more. So they have regular hours on Google Business, and then they also have special hours that you can set. So if you're going to be closed for any holidays, maybe you have to close the shop early to go pick up your kid who's sick from school. Make sure you set those special hours, because if a customer thinks you're open until 6 p.m. and that day you've closed until 2 and they don't know, then people can get upset. So I think it's always good practice if you have updated hours, special hours, any changes, to make a post on social media and make sure you update your Google Business profile. You can post your menus, your products, and your services in a way that's really easy to view. So I think especially for restaurants and like cafes, coffee shops, it's good if you're coming up close, you are in close proximity to someone and they're searching coffee shop near me. If you have your menu up there, they're like, oh yeah, this sounds great. It just makes things easier for the customer. And we are all customers at businesses as well. You know how many options that we have. And so it's just really easy to make something seamless. Maybe they don't even have to leave the platform. They can make a decision right there from a photo of your menu. And then posting updated photos and allowing your customers to share photos. So this just allows people to get a feel for your business. Do you have a patio? Do you have a really inviting indoor space where I feel comfortable having a coffee with a friend or a coworker? I think a lot of the times people are really, really looking for that aesthetic and want to kind of preview what they can expect. And just keeping updated photos is really easy to do on Google. And then in general, I like to think of this as like a secondary website or an additional social media platform. It does not take like daily active management. It's really a platform that if you do the research, which we'll talk about in the next few slides, and optimize it, use your correct categories, services, keywords in your description. Most of the time, the only thing that you're changing or updating is your hours, adding new photos, anything that's changing, but you don't have to be in this platform every day for it to stay active. And then it's really easy to connect to Bing Places. So the workflow for that is set up your Google Business account and then go into Bing Places and you claim it and they kind of merge together. And we want to connect these accounts just because Bing is the native browser for PCs a lot of the time. So if people don't change their browser, we could be missing out on some of those searches. How to get started. So we'll send this deck out and we have a Google Business Guide as well. So you want to create or verify your profile, and this is yours to own and manage. There's instructions here, but it's really easy to set up your account. Google just wants a little information from you. And then you will want to claim your profile and verify your account. We've had clients vary with the verification. It can be a postcard or like a video, but you do not have to have a physical location to have a Google Business account, but you will have to input an address for the postcard to be sent to. But there's a setting in the account where you can hide your address. So you'll see a lot of like CPAs, hairdressers, massage, like some of those service type things that people can set up at their homes. Seamstresses, like home run businesses, will still show up in searches, but it doesn't have an address to it. Just, you don't want people to know your home address. And so you can hide that in the account. And then once someone, decides to work with you, they can still go to your website or call you, or set up an appointment. And then once you have that appointment scheduled, like send a follow-up email with your address to them, is how a lot of our clients do it. And then customizing your account. So this is where the optimization comes into place. And it's just important to update the information for customers and Google to learn more about your business. So in the account under Edit Profile, you'll go to About, and what we care to update is your business name, your business category or categories. I included a full list here. There's a ton, but we want to be sure that it's what people are going to be looking for and searching for what is relevant to our actual business and services and products, and what is competitive with our competitors. So if you don't know where to start, maybe you don't have a profile yet, or you're about to launch your business, just search what you think you would come up for, like use those keywords of cafe near me or restaurant near me, coffee shop near me. And then you can search from a keyword perspective and see who comes up. And then you can also search your competitors and see what comes up. And so a lot of the times you'll find that most of your competitors are in the same category. That's pretty obvious. And then other times you might discover a category that makes more sense for your business. And we want to optimize our business description. This is really important. This is kind of like your, elevator pitch for your business. So a short 3 to 5 sentence description, I would say that includes some of your keywords. So I always just use restaurant because these classes are always near lunch and I'm always hungry. So if I'm like, my restaurant is American fare with a twist, we feature XYZ, come join us on the patio for appetizers and our happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. every day. Just something that allows people to understand what you offer and then has some of those keywords that people are searching for. So in that kind of off the top of my head description, like restaurant, patio, if you want to say serving lunch and dinner, and then I included happy hour in my hours because that's something that people search for often. You also want to include your website link, and then your location and service areas. So we'll get into this in more depth, but that is really important, especially if you are a brick and mortar only. You want to make sure that you're very direct in the location that you can serve people in. And like if you only have a store in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you don't ship out or anything, then you need to just have your location set as Northwest Arkansas, like the cities there, versus just having it set as United States. You'll show up better in search, and it just informs Google of where to actually serve your profile when someone is searching. Hours and special hours, like we talked about before. And then Google allows you to add any characteristics about your business. So this just kind of allows people to get to know you. Some people like to support certain causes, certain type of businesses. So this allows you to be forward in that. And then there's some more service level options that you can add of like Wi-Fi, if you accept credit card, cash, and check. Service options, just keeps it easy and allows people to know what you stand for. So they have a pickup link, and then if you have pickup and delivery, and then add your products here. So a lot of the times, if you have 500 e-commerce products, I would not recommend putting them all on your Google business. But some people, like if you're a cafe, you might have 10, 15 menu items, and it can be worth updating that just because it shows you can upload pictures. It just looks nice and makes your profile look really put together and lets your potential customer learn more about you. And then we're going to go into a few tools for keyword research for optimizing your Google business. So a lot of the times we work with business owners who are like, I don't know what category I'm in. I don't know what's important, or want to use keywords that maybe our customers and our ideal customers that we've identified through customer research don't identify with. And so using some of these free keyword research tools can be really important in identifying words that people actually use to find businesses like ours. We always want to use our customer keywords, not our like super industry-based keywords. I always love starting with competitor research. So whether that is by your keyword of restaurant near me, or whether you know the exact names, just understand what their descriptions look like, how they're showing up in Google search, what information they have on their Google business. Oftentimes your competitors will help you discover your keywords, or allow you to gain insight even to keywords and things that you don't align with for your business. And in general, in marketing, it's just always important to know how our competitors are positioning themselves, so we can either position ourselves similarly or position ourselves in a way that is one level up, just to be clear what our product services are, and that our search engines and our potential customers know that as well. And this can be done through quick Google search, checking their online presence, their Google search, their social media channels, their Google business profile are a few good places to check. And then Google Trends. So this is free. You can Google Trends. And it just shows you a sample of actual search results through Google. You can go 12, you can change the timeline however much you want. But this allows you to kind of compare and test out different keywords that might be in the back of your mind, and see if people actually search for those. So I have an example in a minute, but you might also see that some search terms are regional, which is important. We have different terms for things in Arkansas than they have in Iowa. And so understanding how regional your business actually is, and then playing with some of those keywords to understand if people in your area actually align with those is really important. And this is an example. So bakery versus pastry shop. You can see here that this red line is for pastry shop, and you can add a bunch of keywords here and just compare. But you can see that bakery is more of the accepted search term. And you can see here this map that everything is blue. And so bakery is pretty much the accepted search term around the United States, rather than pastry shop. That does not mean that you can't use pastry in some of your description. Sometimes it's like, blah, blah business is a bakery serving croissants, sweet pastries, and then include other identifiers that that people might be searching for. But we would set our main category and service offering as bakery. The keyword planner in Google Ads is another great free resource. So you don't have to ever run Google Ads to have or pay any money for them to use this tool. You just have to set up an account. And then in the keyword planner, you can understand keywords related to your business. So you can see here, I'm using that same example of bakery, and near that, I can see my average monthly searches and my competition. And so you can just understand that pastries is still a good keyword. It's just not as high of search as bakery might be. So just all things to consider, cake shop and bakery could make a lot of sense if you only do cakes. So it's kind of this understanding what your customers are going to search for, understanding what actually shows up online. And then a lot of the time, customer feedback is a great place to test out keywords too. So you might start hearing trends when people come in of a word or a statement or something that they're repeating. And that might be something that you want to tie into your marketing. And these tools are good to test that, to see what the traffic might be for some of those search terms, or you start using them in your social media posts, things that are familiar to people. Related searches is another great place. So if I'm searching bakeries near me, if you scroll down the search results page a little bit, you'll see this related searches. And then I kind of just go down what I call this Google black hole of kind of clicking around on these, understanding that these are related searches once people search for bakery. And so I might need to tie in some of these keywords, like this bakery near me open now. That's where our hours really are important, because you can filter by open hours, open today, open tomorrow on Google Business, and in Google Maps and search results. So things like that are really important. And so we kind of just do all this general research, and then we want to narrow down how we want to position ourselves online. Your service area is really important, just allowing, again, Google and your customers to understand where they can find you. And so here, if I am a NWA business with a brick and mortar, you have to visit me to experience my products or services, then I want to set my service areas close by. If I'm an e-commerce, I could set myself as Fayetteville, Arkansas in the United States. If you have certain areas that you have more customers, or you target certain states, like maybe you are a more state-based apparel company or something, and you really represent 20 states, you might want to add that to your service area. It's going to be different for everyone, just depending, but very important to set up correctly in your account so that you are served in the appropriate searches. And like we talked about, replying to reviews, it's so important. I think especially in Northwest Arkansas, Google reviews are very powerful. We do have some clients who choose to be on Yelp, and I think that some of the other review platforms will grow as the metro area grows, but reviews and all this optimization that we're talking about is important for the people that live here. But as you also think of how much tourism we're driving to the area, there are people who are going to be using these platforms more than ever to find things around them. And so having good Google reviews, using that to really encourage your customer service, talk to your teams, know what's going on in your business is really important. And then we get asked a decent amount about Google business advertising. It is possible to run ads through the platform. And oftentimes once you start your account, it'll say, if you spend X amount of dollars, we'll give you $250 in ad credit. It's not bad. It's just a really easy way to spend money quickly and ineffectively if your profile is not optimized well. If you have a well-optimized profile, most of the time other businesses are not. Like, you don't see a ton of Google business ads around here. We have some clients who will do them for like their first month of opening for awareness and to really show up first in those search results. But with advertising, I always just encourage my clients to consider the why behind the reason that you think you should run ads first. We never want to use advertising as a like kind of not fear tactic, but as like, I don't feel my marketing is working, and then start throwing money at something. There's normally something else we can consider or understand from our analytics and how people are engaging with our business before we spend money. This does not apply to everyone, but we do have some clients who will manage multiple locations. And I've just included a resource here. It's going to depend how your business structure is set up. And then some of our clients who are like franchisees, the franchise will set up an account for them that then they manage. And so it really just depends, but the link will be in here if you think that your business will require multiple locations in Google Business. And this is just where some of the information lives that we discussed before. So under customers is where you'll find those reviews, to your calls, messages, and Q&A. Q&A can be really helpful in the profile if you're just getting the same answer or question over and over again. So I normally say if you're getting a question 3 to 5 times, then we probably want to put an FAQ on our website, on social, and then use the Q&A section on Google Business. So that Q&A also allows Google to pull information to understand what people are valuing and that you're using more of the profile, basically. Google Business Performance is their like analytics side. So that's where you can see how people are finding your business through search in the platform. So you can see in this example, I can see my views of how many people viewed it, and then the platform and device breakdown. And so this is important to us because if 63% of my traffic coming from Google Business to my website every month is mobile, I need to make sure that and this is in general, but I need to be extra sure that my website is optimized for mobile, because that's a really easy way for people to get turned off of, they go, they are on a mobile site that's really hard to use, or there's a ton of pop-ups hitting them. Things are breaking in mobile. So that's just something to check that your site, your images, your usability is optimized for mobile. And then you can see here, so you'll see your top normally is through Google search, and then you'll see Google Maps. So that's people directly in the Google Maps app or the desktop platform who are finding you through those Google Map searches. That is all the content I have prepared. Does anyone have any specific questions?
Rachel,
I see.
we've got some questions in the Q&A.
Yes.
Tina asked, hello, when you search my business, the location is wrong. I have tried to change this, but have not been successful. It shows my location as Conway, South Carolina, instead of Arkansas.
I'm writing a note so I can look into that. Sometimes also Google Business Support can be very helpful. I can troubleshoot this with you or send you a link after, but sometimes it just helps to go into your service areas, delete, like click the X mark on what it has now and try to resubmit that Conway, Arkansas. I can take a look at that and send you some documentation as well, but yeah, that's not great. So if you cannot do it yourself, I would recommend reaching out to their support. Like, they want to value business owners through Google Business, and they are pretty responsive.
Okay, and then Anthony asks, is there a way to see how we get to these functions on Google? Great information. I'm curious on how to find some of these functions. For example, how to search competitors, keywords, etc.
Give me just a second and I will pull up a Google search and kind of show you what it looks like. I'm just not able to show, I own a bunch of accounts, but I'm not able to show you a live account. So let me show you in a Google search what this would look like. Okay, so if I'm searching, I'm on my desktop. You can do this on mobile. You can do this in the Google Maps app. If I'm saying lunch in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is like a very normal search, this is what it's going to look like. So where you see this places, that is going to show up first above. These are what we would call like the organic search listings on Google. And so this is what I'm talking about, of that prioritization. And so because these people have lunch hours open, they're open today. You can see here where I hover over Hammond-Trees, it says sandwich. If I move, it's going to move it. But if you see next to their $2 sign, it says sandwich, like that's a category they've set at. Sandwiches are lunch. They're open during lunch hours. Google's taking all of these profile identifiers basically and serving you content that they think is relevant and that other people deem relevant. So you can see they have a ton of reviews. They have good reviews. They have a review that literally has the word lunch in it. And so just starts showing you like how Google is prioritizing some of these accounts. And then you can, discover more places here. I can look directly on the map and see what is close to me. And you can do this anywhere you are, but that's kind of, Google will even, like this upscale Italian eatery with modern decor, Google will start giving these descriptions based on what they know about your profile and restaurant or business as well, based on reviews, description, category, services. So it kind of allows us to play that Google game.
Okay, and Annette asks, can I set up under my opening hours that I offer after hour business via appointment?
You should be able to. I'm trying to think how you would want to do that. Those might just be better to set up during as special hours. I've seen some businesses do this as like open 24 hours, which I'm not sure is always effective. That is also something that you can do. You could add in your description as well. And if you have an appointment booking link or software, you can link that as well. I can add some information to that guide in our follow-up email as well.
Okay.
You can set, sorry, one more thing on hours. You can set like different hour groupings as well. So you can have your regular hours as like 9 to 5 or whatever, and then it will let you set up additional hours that might be like 7 to 9 p.m. or however it works, but it will let you set up different sets of hours.
Okay. What landing pages work best for small online service subscription service?
I would need more information on the actual type of subscription. A lot of the times the website platforms that we're recommending for our small business clients, depending on your level of comfortability with actual backend platforms, Squarespace is going to be one of the easiest in general. A lot of our clients like Wix. WordPress requires more hands-on development or a builder like Elementor or something, but some clients prefer working in WordPress. And then depending on your service type, if you're linking to like an in-store POS, we'll see clients use like the Toast Online, the Square Online. But I would say probably Squarespace and Wix are the easiest website platforms to use in general.
Maritza asked, how do you dispute a review?
You will go, I think I have it in that Google guide and I will make sure, but there's a link and you just have to go through Google support basically. And tell them you have to kind of go with your evidence. So we've had clients who, this does not happen regularly, but every once in a while, someone will like get hit by a bot. And it's very obvious that the reviews are not from an actual customer or human, even you might see typos. And so what you want to do is kind of gather your evidence of like, whether it's in your POS or normally it's in your POS, if that name of the person leaving a review is like has never even purchased from your business, you want to provide that information to Google. And then respond to the review, the negative review, in a way that shows your level of customer service, because Google will care about that as well. They want to make sure that like you're not making the problem worse. But if someone did have a poor experience and they're leaving an honest review, Google will not take that down. Most of the time it has to be like very vulgar and inappropriate or like a bot type situation. Google won't just take down any bad review, and you can't take down a bad review.
Okay, one more. I think I missed where you can access the analytics.
Let me go back to this. So when I go to my Google business account, it will pull, and I think this answers a question of how do I access these features as well. So if I'm in my Google business profile, it'll show up on search now. These are the options that you have. So for analytics, you would go into performance, and then to set your categories, services, most of the optimization things that we've talked about today, I would click on edit profile. If I want to read and respond to my reviews, I click here, read reviews. Messages is a feature that you can turn on or keep off, it's up to your discretion. Sometimes I feel like you get more kind of like bot type messages through this, but it really depends on the type of business, and you can always turn them back off. Add a photo here is where you can add the photos. Advertise those Google business advertisements that I talked about. Your products, pickup and delivery is just like what hours you have them set for, and if that is even relative for your business. It's just more for like restaurants, boutiques. I think everyone during COVID was doing pickup and delivery, and so this feature was used a ton. Your calls is just call tracking. Some people have like a Google number or something that they drive people to, so you can get call data there. Your Q&A right here, so updating some of those FAQs if we have them. Adding an update, so if I had to close the shop at 2 p.m. to pick up my kid, I'm going to put an update of like, hey, closing early at 2 p.m. You can still find us online at URL will be open regular hours tomorrow. Thanks for your patience and understanding. That update just kind of serves like a post, social media post. People can see those, and Google can serve them as well. And as for review, should give you your URL for your unique review link.
Okay, Rachel, can you add service areas in other states from our main office address?
You can add service areas in other states, and it will show your physical location, if that's the question. Like if you have a physical location in Fayetteville and then you offer like online consulting or something, and you prefer service in certain states, you can add those. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but you can add service areas outside of your physical location.
Okay, I don't see any additional questions. So if anyone has another question, go ahead and either place it in the chat or in the Q&A, and we will get to it before we close.
I saw a second part of a question up here of I'm curious, or how to search competitors, keywords, etc. You would just do that up here in your Google search function. So if I know the name of my competitor, I can type it in here and see what they come up with, and I can click on their profile and understand what they have set on their profile, or I can search something more general of a keyword of lunch, but then that's where after that you can go into the Google Trends, you can go into keywords. Like I normally just start with what I think people might refer to my business as, and then I go into like Google Trends and that keyword planner and either verify or learn that the keyword I thought people might use to find my business is not as relative as I once thought, and I might need to consider a new keyword.
Okay, Rachel, that looks like all of our questions for now.
Perfect.
Okay, well, if there are no more questions, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. If you are not a client of the Small Business Development Center at the University of Arkansas and need help in either starting a business or growing your business, the expert consultants on our team provide complimentary consultation. We're grant funded, so it is no cost to our clients, and you can get excellent help. And all you need to do is go to our website at asbtdc.uark.edu and register under Get a Consultation. And then we will get back with you as quickly as possible and get you set up with a meeting. for whatever your needs may be. You can also find our client stories and a whole host of resources, including video presentations of all of our trainings, and then watch them at your leisure. So would like to say again, thank you to everyone for joining us, and thank you, Rachel, for a great presentation.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. We'll follow up with those documents with some direct links for you guys.
Yes, great. Okay, thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.